Hey guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. Now this is the first video sewing tutorial basically of the year. Like, I'm so excited. Now this is the dress I wore to the last YouTube event in December. I said I was going to show you guys the tutorial, and this is the tutorial. So today I'm going to be dropping the pattern making for this dress, and tomorrow, so the day after this video actually drops, I'm going to drop the sewing tutorial. So you guys are going to see everything, in just a space of one day. So get ready to learn the beginner friendly way I made this particular dress. Guys, it's not hard at all. Now let's get our intro in and do what? Stitch up! So guys, for this tutorial we'll be needing our corset pattern. So if you've not seen that video, check it out up here, and I'm going to also link it in the description box below so that you guys can check it out. We're also going to be using our basic bodice pattern. I have this basic bodice pattern also on the channel. Then we're also going to be needing our pins, measuring tape, curved ruler, quilting ruler, scissors. Now let's start working on our pattern. So the first thing we're going to do is trace out our front bodice. So that midpoint on the armhole, that's where you're going to start tracing from. So you're just going to cut that exact shape out, but guys, don't cut out the bottom part. Just cut it out on the side, just like I've done right here, because we are still going to work on our V bottom from there. So now what we're going to do is go down from the waistline by 7 inches. I actually reduced it again to 6 inches because it wasn't giving me the shape I wanted, so I reduced it back to 6 inches. So just draw that line right there. So from this line that we just made again, we're going to go down by 3 inches. Now mark it on the center front and then connect that 7-inch point that we made to the 3 inches. Now you see why I said I reduced it again to 6 inches, because this was not really giving me that, that measurement I actually wanted. So I went up by 1 inch and connected that point. So can you guys see that's 6 inches to the 3 inches right now. So instead of the 7 inches, I'm using 6 inches to the 3 inches so that my V shape would actually show really well. The next thing we're going to do is take our V bottom corset and use it to trace the armhole, because I don't want it to be, the normal regular armhole. I want it to be like a corset kind of armhole, and this particular pattern actually helped. It's because I love this particular neckline, that's why I'm using this particular pattern. So I'm just going to trace out the neckline. Now I'm going to go ahead to work on my darts. So the same way we did it on the basic bodies, mark your darts, your nipple to nipple measurements, then add the 1 inch on the waistline. You guys know the drill, so just put it and make that dart line. So for this darts, we're starting from the top part, like the top of the neckline. That's where you're going to start working on your dart from, and end on that slant that we made earlier, the 6 inches to that 3 inches slant, that V bottom basically. So you're going to end right there. I forgot to mark it right here, but that's what you guys should do. Mark it down to that slant. Once you're done with that, just cut out your neckline, armhole, and that V bottom shape, and you're good to go. That's the front bodice. And then, like I always say, write out every information you need, everything, measurements, everything you need to know, and also write that you're going to cut it on fold. Now the front is cut on a fold, and on the V bottom part, you can either add seam allowance at the bottom, or when you're cutting your fabric, just write on your pattern that you're going to add seam allowance to it. So whatever seam allowance you're going to add, once you place your pattern on your fabric, it will help you remember that you're going to add seam allowance to that bottom. Now that we're done with the front, you're going to trace out that exact front to form the back. Now this back that I have here, you're going to trace it out to form this, fold it on the waistline and cut it off, because our back is 2 separate pieces, because we have that peekaboo moment happening. So that's what I actually love about the back. So you're going to cut it into 2, so the bottom part will be for the skirt side and the top part will be for your back.
Hard struggle just to be me, had to rise up just so they could see me.
Now for the skirt side, you're going to add 1 inch seam allowance on the left hand side for the zipper allowance, because I'm going to add a zip to it. So you're going to add 1 inch when you're cutting your fabric. At the V bottom part as well, you're going to add seam allowance to it as well, so that you won't get short of fabric. And then at the waistline, you're going to add your 1 inch seam allowance as well. You guys know me, I love using 1 inch seam allowance, so that's what I'm using for the waist, the V bottom, and the zipper allowance. And I'm going to be cutting 2 pieces of this. So like I've written here, you can see add seam allowance for the zip, add seam allowance for the bottom, then for the waist as well, make sure you write it. Now we're going to work on the top back. So write out everything, guys, everything. Add seam allowance at the waist side, everything you need to write out, and cut 2 pieces. So you're cutting 2 pieces of the bottom and the top back. So that's what you're going to do.
Wear the crown.
So right here I'm just fixing in my dart. Remember I said it's from the top to the bottom. I am fixing it right here. So that's it, guys. And guys, that's it for this pattern. I'm just going to cut it out on my fabric. So I'm just going to measure what I have on this pattern and use it to like cut out my fabric, because I don't want to be wasting fabric. So like you've seen here, I folded it the right measurement. I'm now going to place my pattern on it and cut it out from there.
What you bring, how you fight in the ring, how you take a fucking swing.
So guys, here I'm just putting like the dart lines so that I can be able to, you know, sew it easily. It's always easy to draw those lines. And then I'm going to cut out my back pieces. Remember, 2 pieces for each side, so it's not cut on a fold. And as you can see, guys, I have added that seam allowance. Remember I said on the waistline you have to add your seam allowance for the top part and the bottom part. So I've added the seam allowance right here. Can you guys see it? You see the extra fabric from the pattern paper here, so you can see it. And I'm going to add the dart lines as well, so that it can be easy for me. Now guys, that's all I have for the pattern. So in my next video I'm going to show you guys how to cut the bottom part. Remember it has this black gathered part. I'm going to show you guys how to cut it, then the detachable sleeves as well, the straps, the loops. I'm going to show you guys everything. It's coming out tomorrow, the day after this one drops. So I'll see you in my next video. Please don't forget to subscribe, guys. Please subscribe. Comment in the comment section so that YouTube will know that yes, you're engaging with my content. Share this video within and outside your circle, like it as well. And until my next video, do have yourself a wonderful morning, noon, or night wherever you are. It's still your favorite content creator and fashion entrepreneur, Lara Savage, signing out.